Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Tuesday, February 25th. I am joined tonight by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 on Twitter. Boomy at BoomyTCF. You can follow me, Zach Lilja, on Twitter at ZLilja, LILJATCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Then go to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe to the Typical Chicago Fans page on there. We put the TCF Morning Show and the Typical Chicago Fans podcast on there. And wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe, rate, review if you're on Apple. Follow and review if you're on Spotify, and then if you get your podcast somewhere else, do what you gotta do. Type in Typical Chicago Fans and give us a listen. Shout out to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. This beautiful mug right here with the TCF logo on it at the bottom. Muddy Otter on there. Thank you to Hannah Prentice for making that. Hannah and Mitch Prentice Woodworking and Pottery. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook. The Muddy Otter on there. If you have some custom ideas for them, you can message them or DM them and ask them if they are able to do that, and they're always willing to try. Mitch said he's been looking for a little bit of a challenge here, so he's always looking for something different. Again, that is themuddyotter.com or Facebook and Instagram. Follow them on there. And Score Trader, Boomy, how did the Nevada caucus go this weekend?
Bernie in a landslide.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Boomy has given out the winner on the show, even though it's been the same guy. First, before we get into that, go to the Apple Store, download the Score Trader app. It's free to play. Make an account on there. Again, that is the Apple Store. Type in Score Trader, download the app, make an account on there. So, Boomy, what's the next event for
South Carolina this coming Saturday, and then Super Tuesday a week from today? You can win in those specific events, the particular state, but also in your stock in the Democratic National Convention, which will happen July 13th, where they will choose who will be the guy who runs against guy or girl. I shouldn't have been sexist like that.
Come on, Boomy.
Who will run against. That's on me, all right? It's been a late night, okay? I apologize. Elizabeth Warren's still alive, so there is a chance that happens. But that's how you win the real cash, is the overall tokens that you have won in the Vote 2020 event. It integrates political news, so if you're kind of one of those people, if you're a diehard politics person, kind of like myself, you pay attention to that stuff. But for all the people, like I know Zach probably doesn't pay attention to a lot of politics, but so this is a perfect way to kind of force yourself to do your research and get involved and take a stand on one side or the other, because it integrates the political news into the app. So you can stay tuned in, engaged, all the while expressing your vote of confidence for your candidate is in the long haul, but also gives you the flexibility to change as you go throughout the cycle. But like Zach said, it's only on the Apple App Store. To download it, it's free to play, but make sure you follow them at Score Trader app, as well as on Twitter, as well as Instagram, Facebook. And if you don't know what's going on, you get in there and you're very confused, like I was the first time, go to their YouTube page, watch the 45-second video. You'll have it in no time. It's just a really fun way to just get yourself involved and kind of force yourself into learning about politics, and kind of makes you an informed voter.
Like Boomy said, with the app, just kind of keeping up with the politics just a little bit is more than I ever have. So that's kind of helped me kind of get into it a little bit, and it will more and more throughout the presidential election process with the Score Trader app. So like I said, go on there, make an account. It kind of gives you a reason to kind of just stay involved. You don't need to know that much about it. It's just kind of a reason to kind of maybe look it up at night or whatever, however it goes, and it just kind of gets you a little bit more informed on something, like I said, that a lot of people should maybe get a little more informed on, talking to myself about that. And so it's just a nice way of, like I said, if you're if you're in like a daily fantasy sports, it's kind of a nice way of doing it. It gets you into the politics part, also doing something kind of fun along with it. So again, that is
And
just
possibly winning some money and prizes. So
this
what do
is
you have to lose?
Score Trader app. Type in Score Trader, download the app on the Apple Store, make an account for free on there. Let's get into our first thing. We had our guy Dom Frederic on tonight. We talked a little bit about his collab with Kyle Schwarber and Kyle Schwarber's foundation for first responders. If you go to morale.store, go on to there. It's for the Schwarbers Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. They got shirts. They got a sweatshirt. It's like a short sleeve sweatshirt, kind of what Kyle Schwarber wears around, like Fred is going to talk about. They kind of the style of Kyle Schwarber. And then we got the long sleeve T-shirt. I know Boomy and Matt have already made their purchases on there. Like I said, go to morale.store. Easy to remember, morale.store. Go on to there. 100% of the proceeds go to the first responders. Like I said, this is really cool. A guy, Dom Frederic, who we've had on the podcast now 6 times, or on the show now. He's the first time on the TCF Morning Show. And he is in contact with Kyle Schwarber, and they're going through the foundation and everything, and they've collabed on it. That's very cool for us to see where Frederic has kind of come from. Like I said, he kind of started up the Twitter, and it's kind of cool, like an athlete like Kyle Schwarber that Fred and us have kind of gone to bat for over the last few years, is kind of recognizing that and helping out Fred, and Fred's helping out him, and it's just cool to see.
Yeah, Zach, that's kind of one thing I forgot to bring up. Like, if you go to the Cubs official team store, that's great. You're supporting the team, but what are you really doing? Are you helping billion houses or more cars? But this is an opportunity to really help out some people in the fact that it's going to Kyle Schwarber's charity and that all of the money. I mean, they've been running this. We were recording night, running it for like 12 hours, and they've already raised like
$4,000.
So, and all that profit is going to help people who need it, and that's what's really cool about it. You can go and support your team and buy stuff at their team store, but this is a great way to help out a great player and a great guy's charity, and the collaboration that Fred and him have.
It's cool.
So,
the logo
really cool
is like a bear with I think it's a fireman's hat on, and so if you wear that to the game, Kyle Schwarber sees it, he will recognize that logo because, well, like I said, Fred said that he approved the logo and everything, and he knows, and like I said, he's worked hand in hand with Fred, and that's just cool that it's something like this is known by Cubs fans and also, like I said, by Kyle Schwarber and by Dom fans.
Exactly.
So,
it's really cool, and love to see all the cool stuff he's got coming out.
So let's get into it. We got our guy Dom Frederic on here. Follow him on Twitter at Dom_Frederic. Here we go. Our guy Frederic.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to welcome back our most reoccurring guest to typical Chicago fans, but he's making his first appearance on the TCF Daily Show. The man, the myth, the legend, Dom Frederic. You can follow him on Twitter at Dom_Frederic, where he has just announced an amazing partnership with our goddamn left fielder, Kyle Schwarber, to raise some money for his charity, Schwarber's Neighborhood Heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, Dom. Brad, how we doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you all? Thanks for having me. Reoccurring guest. How many times has it been?
Oh, too many to count. We're at least like 5 or 6 over the last 2
I think it's 6
years.
I was going to say, I think it might be 7.
Yeah, all the way back on the SoundCloud days.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I think you were actually our first guest.
Was I?
He was definitely one of the first guests,
Yep.
I think.
And like Boomy said, you're into the foundation with the Kyle Schwarber Foundation selling the shirts.
Mm-hmm.
You go to morale.com.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I should know specifically what it is, but yeah.
I got it pulled up. I got it, obviously, .morale.store gets you there.
Oh, okay, .store.
That's a simple, quick to...
yeah, very simple. It's
very
too simple for me to remember.
He said,
Yeah, we like it easy too, man. Come on, let's not kill ourselves here.
we've actually I know we're doing it over the phone, but Frederic, I am actually wearing my morale shirt. And Boomy is wearing his Theo's League shirt.
My second one that I had to buy because I put the other one in with a red towel. So I got a pink one
I
too.
know. I remember you telling me that because you know what? I've been trying to get my guy to send you all stuff, and I'm gonna make it happen. Zach, I tried to send it to your place.
I might be the only person in the world with a cut-off pink tinted Theo's League shirt. So I think it's one of a kind. It's a limited edition.
All right, perfect. No, but I'm seriously gonna send you guys stuff I need to.
Thank you,
Anyways, thank you.
Like I said, what we want to kind of get into it. I'm Kyle Schwarber is my favorite player on the team. I've said that before. We just kind of want to know, how did you get into this partnership with Kyle?
Honestly, he started following this past year. You know, and when someone like him or a player on the team or someone in the front office, whoever starts following, I try to not go in right away. I try to give people their space. But when there's instances like Willie, where we've talked before, and then he blocked me, and then he unblocked me, and now it's kind of like free will. Like I'm just gonna blow up his Twitter for probably the rest of his career because I love the guy, but kind of the way he went about it. Anyways, so I kind of gave him a space, and then I thought it'd be a good idea to figure it out a way that we could help out his foundation. And I just thought it was the right thing to do. And but I knew if we were going to do it, we had to do it the right way. And I think what really made this was that, obviously I've been talking about my left fielder for, I don't know, coming up on like 4 years. So it's been a long time. And I think that's what kind of makes the morale stuff organic, because it's all is built up over time and over many years. And I think that's kind of the culmination of today. So what happened was, we reached out, we talked, we figured out a way how we can make it work. But our stance is simply just trying to raise as much money as we can for his foundation. And if we were going to do it, we wanted to do it the right way and trying to come up with the best design, come up with the best collab we could. And luckily enough, we were able to make it happen. And, he was definitely helpful in the process for sure. Vetoing is vetoing the right word? I should know that. But he gave the blessing for the designs and everything, and he was all about it. We support him a lot, and he, it's great. And I'm very thankful for everyone who has supported so far. We're coming up, I think right now, it's like 9:30, and we're coming up on 4,000 raised, in less than 12 hours. So we'll see. We'll see. I want to try to raise as much as we can. We're gonna have the store open for a good amount of time, just to let him, just to give everyone a chance to purchase and donate if they want to. So we're trying our best, but we're very thankful, very proud, very appreciative of everyone who has supported, Kyle included, obviously, for just being open and really just understanding what the whole the Twitter page is all about, what Ryan's all about, and I'm very supportive of that and very appreciative of it, and for you guys as well for supporting. Thank you again.
And like you said with Schwarber being supportive, he doesn't tweet a lot, and he quote tweeted your tweet about coming out with the news of the shirts and everything, and that just shows you how much he is supportive of it. And like you said, he understands the Twitter page and the following that you have, so that was a really cool thing for him to do today, was quote tweet it and put it out there and just show you that him and you both are kind of collabing this together. You guys are both trying to get money raised for this, and it's just a cool thing to look at from our standpoint You started out just on Twitter, tweeting at him, and now it's come this far, and it just shows you, like I said, with the guys like Contreras and stuff, this will show him that, hey, a lot of the things, well, you said you could collab with this guy, and even you said make you up to $4,000. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people take things differently at times, obviously, but I think you guys understand that, I'm all about just trying to spread a positive message. Yeah, poke fun at people, but it's all for, fun and games, and I do have a very sarcastic sense of humor, and obviously I get excited over, the team and things like that, and be obnoxious at times, but I think, like you all and other people, obviously, who follow for years. I mean, I'm coming up on 7 years doing this, and they've been doing the same shticks and jokes, and same message for a long time, and people understand it. And if you don't, then it's too bad. But people will eventually come along. It takes a while, but that's why I do it. And again, very supportive of Kyle. He could have easily, just turned the other way, but he was all ears, totally all in. Hopefully, some more guys can rep the gear. I know there's some gear down there in Mesa that we sent them, so hopefully we can get some pictures of them wearing it and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But again, very supportive of it all, very supportive of him. And he's my left fielder, man. I've been saying it for years, ever since, going back to when he got hurt, going back to when he got sent down, going back to when everyone said he's a bust, when everyone said he can't play left field, when everyone said he's unathletic, when everyone said he can't hit. I don't want to brag, but I was one of the only guys who just stuck right by his side. I was like, this is our guy, man. This is our left fielder. And, I guess to say you see it through to today, it's pretty cool, but we still got more to go, man. He's still got better seasons ahead. And, again, he's our left fielder, and I'm really proud of him.
Like I said, I'm not a big jersey guy, but he is the one Cubs player right now. I do have his jersey. He is my favorite player. He's our left fielder. Before we get going on, but Matt.
Hey, Zach, this is funny, though, because this is definitely an omen, because as Fred was just talking, I no joke just received an email from the store about the announcement and the shirts going out. So no joke. It's just an omen that I got to go buy my shirt.
Matt's actually.
You know what email I got was the order confirmed email. I already just hit the go button. Now you got me sold there, buddy.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, that was a pretty simple. No, man, I think it's a great message that you guys are trying to spread. And I think it's really cool what you're doing. I've always been a big fan. That was one of the few guys that I've actually stood by, kind of ride or die, and kind of went to bat for him with all my buddies who were telling me he was trash and all that stuff. But he's I think he's got a monster season ahead of us, man.
That's so true. I don't know if any of you guys, I'm sure you do. He played at Kane County when the Cubs were affiliated there.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the season that my dad had like a Sunday season ticket package, and we would go up there, and I was like probably early college. This was like the year he got drafted, and I no joke became a fan of the kid when he hit the farthest ball I've ever seen hit in a professional baseball game, minor league, major league, doesn't matter. He damn near hit the ball in Kane County over the porch into like the parking lot that's behind it. It was a shot, and ever since then, that's been my guy. What'd you say?
The one in right field, right? I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolute shot.
Yeah, no, seriously, thank you. It's all the proceeds are going to his foundation. They're all going to first responders. They're all going to, the firefighters, policemen, people that are there first, obviously, and that do the daily work and might not get the credit and, appreciation they deserve. And there are a lot of people out there who are first responders that need help, and we're just really happy to help. And again, we're really thankful that Kyle was all in and he decided to team up with us and get this done and get this ball rolling. So very thankful again for him, for you all, for everyone involved, and for my T-shirt guy and all the artists that we've worked with to make sure the designs are right. That like we've been working on this for honestly like 2 or 3 months, trying to make sure we got this right, going through different designs and all this type of stuff. So very thankful, very appreciative, and again, thank you for purchasing and donating.
Again, if you want to go get the shirts, or you got the short sleeve sweatshirt too.
The short sleeve sweatshirts are great. I just got mine yesterday. If ever anyone's thinking about purchasing that one and donating, it runs a little bit long, a tiny bit slim, but it's a good fit, and that's kind of Kyle's look. So we wanted to have it out there in the store because he's always wearing the sweatshirts with the cut-off sleeve. So we figured we'd do it, and we're really happy with how it came out.
Love it. Again, morale.store. Go on there, get your shirts. Donations all go to the Kyle Schwarber for the first responders. So, again, that is Kyle Schwarber and Don Frederic out there collabing on a T-shirt. The money is going to the first responders. That's very cool. But, Fred, we got to move on to the Cubs. We're early in the spring training. What are your early thoughts? I know we've only played, 3 games here. What are your thoughts?
I think it really boils down to who's going to be the 5th starter, right? I mean, Chet was saying how well he felt yesterday. Obviously, he has unreal stuff. He's got the spin rate. He's got the fastball. He's got the spin efficiency. He's got everything that you want. And if he can boil it down and get this right and be the pitcher that we signed, whatever it was, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, it would be huge, and it would also be huge for the 2 other guys, Alzolay and Mills. I think those are the 2 other ones. If they could come in and be huge role players in the bullpen, man. The Cubs did so many things under the radar to try to improve this bullpen. A lot of people liked what they did. I know they weren't flashy moves. You didn't go out and sign an Andrew Miller per se, or didn't trade for a Josh Hader. But a lot of people like what they did. We all know that these bullpens are so volatile in the first place. They're crazy. You can't predict them. They're all over the place. So it really comes down to that 5th starter. Comes down to how many guys we can get in the bullpen who are going to be quality arms. I think there's going to be a lot more than people are giving the Cubs credit for. Craig Kimball coming out strong.
Yeah.
A pissed off Craig Kimball. Fired up about that. And, the lineup's going to do what they do. I'm fired up. The guys are running down to first base, off of home runs. That's huge. They're just taking it, hitting tanks into the parking lot like Boomy was talking about, and they're running down to first base. So, yeah, man, I like what I'm seeing. I know people are going to talk about Moran. He had a big day today. I'm going to watch more video. It might just have to be with guys throwing fastballs right down the middle. And, he has one of those days where things fall. I know he hit the home run, but we'll see how that goes. But I think it really boils down to the pitching. That's what the problem's really been the last 2 or 3 years. We haven't had that pitching that we did in 2016. It comes down to that. And we'll see what happens from there. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm excited to get Ross in the dugout.
Yeah.
It's better from the flu, whatever he has.
He still hasn't coached a game for the Cubs yet. He has the flu, which is good. I think it's a great thing he's staying away. They don't need to be spreading that. I think there's a picture today of Rizzo walking around with one of those masks on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need any of these guys getting sick this early. So
virus or anything like that. We just need guys hitting tanks and running hard to first base and punching tickets.
Chris Bryant running through walls.
Running through walls. People hitting tanks, people just stepping up saying, I want to be a leadoff hitter, I want to carry this offense on my back. That's what it's all about, and that's what Chris Bryant's doing.
Fred, do you like that move to put KB in the leadoff spot?
Yeah, man, I think we've talked about it in the past. It comes down to on-base percentage. It's exactly why Kyle Schwarber is always going to be valuable because he takes walks. It's always why Anthony Rizzo is going to be valuable because he takes walks. Why Ian Happ has a big-time chance to be a continued quality big leaguer, which he hasn't gotten credit for all right with that. I love the move. I have no problem with it. It might as well be 5-0 Cubs every single day with the first 5 we got running out there. So I love it. I have no problem with it. I love how Chris stepped up, especially after this offseason, all this stuff going on, all the rumors, all the people saying stuff, this and that, myself included, from what I've heard. But it seems like people are starting to get on the same page a little bit. Some people are, starting to rally together, starting to move in the right direction, putting their differences behind them. And Chris stepped up and said, I want to lead this team from the leadoff spot, and I love it.
And it's nothing against Joe Madden, but it's one of those things. We're already through 3 games in spring training, and we've already had more consistency kind of from a leadoff position. We already kind of know more than we have since Dexter Fowler left. We're going in opening day knowing.
Yeah, no, I know the stat came out the other day, and not that this was a new stat, but it went through like the Cubs were first in on-base percentage in 16, then they went to 18th and 17, then they went to second and 18, and then last year was terrible, obviously. But obviously, consistency is huge for anyone who's played the game. It is so enormous. I'm never going to say platooning guys isn't important, that there aren't matchups within the game that you can exploit. But when you're talking about a team like the Cubs, and you're talking about trying to reset and regroup and get consistent and get guys being on the same page and working hard, and they're not this malaise that's been around the team for the last 2 or 3 years, when guys don't know what's going on and people think it's getting a little loosey-goosey. No, David Ross is going to put out literally the best 9, like it's the 10 Commandments, and he's going to set it right in front of the dugout every single game and say, this is what it's going to be, and that's how it's going to go down. 5-0 Cubs start every game. I have no problem with that. I love Chris Bryant leading off.
Yeah, that top of that lineup is mean, and that's going to be fun.
It's mean, and it should be mean, and it should have been mean for a long time.
Like I said, you can always look back at what you should have done, but why do we never give Chris Bryant a chance at the leadoff spot? But we'll see how it goes. The Cubs last year were statistically one of the worst leadoff teams in the league, so we can only go up maybe from there. But I'm excited. Like you said, it's just nice to have some consistency, and I think in the dugout it'll be nice to know that the lineup won't be changed as much maybe this year, and you'll kind of go into more series knowing what's going to happen.
Guys, I've been saying it forever. It's about playing the best
9. Yes, let's go.
You can physically play every single day. That's what it's all about. Every single day. You put the lineup down like it's the 10 freaking commandments, and you say, hey, this is what the best line's going to be, and we're going to roll out like that every single day.
I love it.
Simple. It's that simple.
Like I said, I feel like Chris Bryant ready to run through a wall right now because, like I said, there were so many times last year where you look at the starting lineups and you go, this is not the best 9. And hopefully this year we don't have to go through that again. And I don't think we will. I've been on the record saying that I wasn't the biggest fan of the David Ross hiring, but I've come around to it. I've seen how the players have kind of connected with him, the friendship they already have built with him, the trust they have, and I'm all in on David Ross.
Hey, man. If he can play the best 9, he gets these guys moving in the right direction. He gets people rallying. He gets the morale going. He gets people, feeling good on a daily basis, all right? Then I have no problem with David Ross being the manager. And if he can get people to run through walls and walk into Minnesota wanting to run through a brick wall, all right, then I'm all about it. I have no problem with it. I'm going to follow this guy's lead. I'm going to follow Fields' lead. I'm going to follow Jed's lead. I'm going to follow Tom Ricketts' lead. I know that's a very hot topic right now. I'm still going to follow
That's
their
bold.
leads.
That's
I'm
bold.
still backing them. I'm not leaving. And if we can get the best 9 going, we get the morale going, we get people moving in the right direction, I love it. No problems with it. Let's get it going.
I'm pumped.
Let me ask one real quick. Get into the best 9. Who do you think is the best 9 to get us in that second base spot?
Nah, I'm just going to ask that, Matty.
For second base, I think, what, the more...
Is Nico ready? Is Nico ready to be the guy?
So we have Descalso, we have Kipnis, we have Warner, and we have Bodie. I really think, and again, I don't know if he's ready for it, but I would I just feel really hard pressed to not give Nico that chance because this is the biggest thing. And I know I've gone not back and forth with this, but I've been criticized for it in the past about not caring about strikeouts, which I really don't. But I do understand that you can't have a whole lineup where every single guy is going to strike out, over league average every single time. I understand it's the big leagues. I understand it's hard. I understand striking out is part of the game, and that it's going to continue to be part of the game because these pitchers are so good, they throw so hard, etc. But if Nico, we know he can put the ball in play, all right? We know Alvaro Moore can put the ball in play. That doesn't mean he's good. But if Nico can put the ball in play and hit him and hit above league average, have like a 103 weighted runs created plus 104, and he can consistently put the ball in play. He can move runners when we have to move runners. I'm not saying that's the end all be all. I'm not saying that's totally how you win baseball games, but sometimes you just have to do it. Sometimes it's valuable to do it. I'm not saying all the time. Sometimes, just to balance the lineup out a little bit. I understand the reasoning and the concept because I just struggle, and I think Bodie's a good player. I really do. I don't think people give Bodie enough credit.
I agree.
And but he does strike out more. He'll get in these modes where it's 12 Ks just down the drain like that over a 3-game stretch, and he's just boom, 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 fastball up. And he's done. And it's tough, man. So I would really want to give Nico a shot to start there every day. Honestly, man, with Kipnis, I just kind of view that as a morale move, a leadership move, a clubhouse move.
An invitation.
All the stats. Yeah, an invitation, really. Yeah, exactly. All the stats say that he's pretty much toast. I hope that's not the case. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the stats are wrong. I hope the peripheral stats are wrong. We'll see what happens there. I don't think Descalso is on the team. I might be totally off on that, but I don't think he's on the team. So I think it comes down to Nico. It comes down to Bodie. I'd like to see Nico get more at-bats than Bodie, but I still think Bodie's a good player in spots where you have guys that are throwing, low in the zone, sinker slider guys. He can get up underneath one and hit a tank, and he can be a doubles guy, a homer guy. He can hit the ball out, and he's a good player. He had a rough defensive year, but for the most part, Nico and Bodie, primarily Nico, let him ride, let him put the ball and play hard, let him hit some line drives. Hopefully he can hit some tanks. He's looking a little bigger, get the ball in the air, good contact, launch angle, all that good stuff. And let's ride from there. He's a good player, man. He came out at the end of the year. Everyone saw it. He played shortstop for a month and held that thing down. And that was really impressive. So I don't see why not he couldn't handle second base for a full year.
I think he really deserves it after the weird spot he was kind of put in right at the beginning of his Major League Baseball career. And it was just first few games of his debut, and the way he handled it, the way he played it pretty well. I think that he has shown that he can go out there and be your everyday, hopefully, second baseman.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
He said, I'm excited about this team. I know we didn't do much this offseason. We didn't make many moves. But these guys, we've been through a lot in the playoffs the last few years with this team, this core we still have. Like I said, the big question mark is that fifth starter.
The fifth starter, I don't mean to cut you off, and with the salary cap.
Yeah.
The salary tax. Where are we going to be? Are we going to be over? Are we going to be under? They got to make a move. They got to shred some money. I mean, it wouldn't make sense. And I love all these guys, man. But it wouldn't make sense to go into this year going over the cap when you don't do anything, in the offseason. So they have to get under. They really have to get under, and I don't know how that's going to happen. It might be Q. That's a big guy to move. He had a pretty good year last year. He's a quality arm. He'll take the ball every fifth day and be productive. But they have to get under because we have to reset this tax so we can go all out for 2021 and see what happens there. We got to pay these guys, pay a few of the guys. My left fielder included. He should be a priority. Absolutely.
Yes.
But
sooner than later for him too, before the price goes up.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to sell more shirts. We're gonna have to just donate shirts. But we have to get under the tax, and we have to figure it out and get situated for the long term. That's the biggest thing. So we'll see what Theo does.
we'll have to kind of see what they do. Unfortunately, I know this isn't big news, but Brandon Morrow already hurt, I think I've heard.
Yeah.
Perpetually.
Like what?
Chest strain. Chest something with the chest. At least it's not the elbow.
Unreal, though. Like, just...
Since he made a glass? Like,
I don't know.
Jesus.
I hear you. I'm not personally going to freak out. We'll see what happens.
Especially at next point, he's on the minor league contract. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's a minor league
It's not a big deal.
I mean,
but you would love for it to work out. Something.
I would love for him to be able to pitch legitimately once every 4 days, through 98 to 99 if he still has that in them. Blow 3 batters away, sit down, regroup for 3 days, and then come back and do it again. I'm totally cool with him doing that. That would be amazing if he could.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
We'll just see if he can at least just make it to a Cubs Major League Baseball game. That's all I'm asking.
People forget he was dominant, though.
He was dominant. He was, and that's why you gave him the money.
He was dominant. I mean, that first half, when he was the closer, he was electric. And Joe ran him into the ground. I hate to say it.
Yeah, they used him a lot.
They used him a lot. They used him when they didn't want to use him. They used him that 3 days in a row, and he has never. I don't want to say not specifically that point, but in the context of that time of the year, he hasn't pitched in a Major League game again. So it's kind of tough to swallow. Hopefully it's not his last game. Hopefully he comes out throwing absolute seeds. 101. That's crazy of me saying that. But every 4 days, that's all I'm asking. Once every 4 days, let's go 99 down the middle. 99 down the middle. No one's going to touch it with a little slider. And sit 3 guys down. Take a rest. Get the Gatorade for 3 days. Ice down. And then do it again on the 4th day.
You said it'd be a pleasant surprise if that was the case.
That'd be amazing.
Like I said, we usually stick to Cubs content within baseball, but I just want to get your thoughts right at the end of this on the Astros. What do you think's gonna happen? I already saw the Altuve got booed. He got hit by a pitch. I think that was just a coincidence. Yeah. But do you think it's gonna get pretty bad this year for him?
I don't want to say I hope that guys are gonna get absolutely beat up in the.
Yeah, you don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah, I don't want guys to get hurt. I don't want guys getting thrown at in the head, but there has to be some type of justice. I mean, I've said it multiple times. They need to get that World Series taken away.
And it seems like it's getting closer to that.
I hope so. I mean, they need to get reprimanded. Rob Manfred was an absolute joke last week in that press conference. That
weird.
Was
it's just weird how that all went.
Absolute disgrace that went down. I firmly believe that the Astros were using buzzers in 2019. From what I've heard, I really believe that was happening. And they got off totally free, essentially, man. I know you have the public opinion. No one's going to ever believe that World Series is valid, but they still have their rings. They still have that trophy. They still are able to hang a banner in their stadium. That is so ridiculous.
The same stadium that they built a little room for just to cheat. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and they need to get it taken away. I mean, I don't want to say we're beating a dead horse by, continuously bringing that up, but, I mean, it has to happen. But I don't know if it will. I hope it does. I don't know if it will. But anyways, regardless, the moral of the story is the Cubs went out, and they were back-to-back reigning world champs for, 3 years because no one would win a world championship the right way until the Nationals did.
Especially with all the news of how maybe the Dodgers could have been a part of it. That also could have affected the Cubs. You just never know.
Well, you know what? You know what the big thing is? I'm just waiting for Yelich. And
it's weird because he's so good at home last year and just not that good on the road.
I'm just waiting for Christian Yelich to walk that MVP trophy down 94, take the thing that connects the Edens in 294. You walk over, it's in Northbrook, right off Willow Road. If you know what I'm talking about, I know you guys live out in the far away in
All right.
Illinois.
Yeah.
But
I know
you take
exactly
that
where you're
down,
talking.
and I want him to walk that on the median, okay? Just with the
Above his
MVP
head.
trophy in his hands, he cannot use an iPass. He needs to wait in line and pay the toll like everyone else does, okay? And he walks that thing down the Edens, down all the way to the Kennedy, walks that thing down, Addison, go east, and give that thing back to Hobby if they are found to be using any type of technology.
Yes.
I cannot say that enough. And I'm going to hold him to it. If there is any type of
It's weird. Why are they so good at home?
I hear
I hate
you.
to be that
Dude,
way.
If there's any type of news regarding any cheating, I need the loudest take it back chance from whenever he's up at Wrigley or Wrigley North. Because he's got to take that MVP trophy back to Ivy. It's only fair.
Well, you know, Ryan Braun has a pretty good history of the whole cheating thing.
Ryan Braun cheated for the Brewers. He was cheating at Miami, doing the same sign stealing scandal at Miami. I've talked to guys who played against Ryan Braun in college, at the U, at the Light, down in Miami, down in Coral Gables, who were doing the same exact thing. You have who was the Florida State's head coach's name? He just retired. Whatever. He was on record saying that Miami was cheating. You had Georgia Tech saying that he was cheating. I have other universities that I've talked to, players, Division I players, coaches that are saying that he was cheating. They saw him cheat. They saw him sitting on these changeups, and where they had no chance. So they're saying that the first game, you know, they're way off and they're not doing it, and then something started to change, and they're spitting on whatever 2-0 changeups, and they're spitting on all these nasty pitches, all this type of stuff. They were cheating. They never were totally found to do it because they somehow were able to cover it up. But Ryan Braun's been cheating ever since he came out of the womb, and I'm telling you, if the Brewers are found with this, they are going to have hell to pay, and they'll have to answer to me when it comes down to it. And I can't wait for it to happen.
Yeah, we don't wish anything like that upon people, but if it does, you'd hate to see it. You'd hate to.
You would hate to see it. You would hate to see it, but I wouldn't hate to see it.
Oh, I'd
You know what I mean?
You'd love to see it.
Love to see it, but you hate to see it, but you know.
You'd love to see it. Well, Frederic, thank you for joining us here on the TCF Morning Show. Boys, you got anything else?
Covered it all, man. Great to have you back on, Fred.
Yeah, no,
Go buy a shirt.
I'm seriously going to send you guys some stuff. I know I keep saying that. I got it. That should have been sent to you. Zach, I DM'd you a couple months ago asking if it came to your house. I thought it was going to. But anyways, I'm going to get that figured out for you. Thank you again for having me on for the whatever time. I love coming on. You guys do a great job. I really appreciate it. Again, for people listening, go out and support the Schwarber's Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Go to my link. It's on It's on my profile. It's pinned there. I'm going to continue to tweet about it. Try to raise as much money as we can. All proceeds are going to the Schwarber Foundation. We're not taking anything. It's all going to the foundation, all going to first responders, all going to the police officers, the firefighters, the EMTs, whoever falls under the first responder category, that's who it's going to. Again, we're just piggybacking off of Kyle. We're teaming up with Kyle, collabing with Kyle. This is all going off of him and his foundation. We're very thankful for everyone who has supported and everyone who has pitched in and said kind words and, supported financially, all this type of stuff. We're very thankful for it and very appreciative of it. Thank you again for having me on. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, Fred. Like I said, it's about the sixth time you've come on here, and then like I said, we love the support from you over the years. Like I said, it's morale.store. Go on there, buy a shirt, buy a sweatshirt. All the money goes to the Schwarber's Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Just a great collab between Kyle and Fred, our two favorites within the Cubs. So again, morale.store. Go out and follow Frederic at Dom_Frederic on Twitter. Thanks again, my guy. Like I said, go Cubs, go Cubs in 4.
And God bless you and your family, Fred.
Thank you, guys. Boom me, Matt, Zach, all the best, and let's do it again soon. I'm always open. You guys know, Zach, just DM me and we'll get it going.
Thank you to our guy, Dom Frederic, the director of morale for the Chicago Cubs. Again, at Dom_Frederic. Go to morale.store. Get your shirts, get your sweatshirt, get your sweatshirt shirt. And it all goes to the Schwarber's Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Well, that was a good one, wasn't it?
This sweatshirt shirt. This sweatshirt shirt. Did I hear that correctly? I just wanted to
Shirt,
make sure.
sweatshirt, shirt.
When you see it on the website, you'll know exactly what Zach's talking about.
Yes, I agree with that.
So
short sleeve, cut off sweatshirt, maybe something like that.
Go to morale.store and get all the 100% of those proceeds go to the first responders. Shout out to our guy Kyle Schwarber and our guy Dom Frederic, two of our favorites in the Cubs. Our two favorites. It's our Kyle is my favorite. Kyle's my favorite player. Fred is my favorite Cubs just person in general. That was about our 6th time having Frederic on here.
I'll have to go back and do a count because it's at least 6. It might be 7.
So thank you very much. At Dom_Frederic and go to morale.store and get all of your stuff on there. But let's get into it. The Blackhawks trade deadline.
Ooh.
So they trade Robin Leonard for nothing pretty much. They trade Eric Gustafson for nothing, pretty much. We got nothing. We have nothing. We have nothing to play for. They've lost, 7 of 8, 8 of 9. The season's over, and we did nothing. We gave up 2 pretty good players and got nothing for the future.
I think I was spot on 2 weeks ago when I said the season was over, and this is just a nail in the coffin. This is, like you said, it's one thing to make moves at the deadline, but then you almost get fleeced in the deals, and it's like, what is going on? This went from an organization that was wheeling and dealing, bringing in guys. We're on the other end of some of these trades, less than 5-6 years ago, and now you're, like you said, Zach, you're trading Leonard for a goalie prospect who was a top goalie prospect back those 5-6 years ago, and it's just – I don't know, man. It's starting to feel so Bulls-esque right now. And I know it's recency bias because the trade deadline was yesterday, but you just feel dirty.
Yeah, it's just – and there's no upside to anything they did today.
The light at the end of that tunnel just keeps getting dimmer and dimmer.
You may have been right. I don't know if I was wrong about the whole comparison to the Bulls. I was maybe wrong about that.
Well, the only thing I want to add to that, though, is I think the Blackhawks are ready to cut bait for sure with Bowman, with McDonough, with all of it. I think top down, they're going to be bringing down the hatchet. I don't know that you're going to see John Paxson go. I think you'll see Foreman go, but I don't know. John Paxson, I don't know if he's got.
He knows where the bodies are hidden.
He knows where the bodies are. He knows where the bags come from. He knows where he's got pictures of certain people's spouses or something that he shouldn't have, something like that. I don't know, man. He's got perma job or somehow. It's ridiculous. But back to the Blackhawks, I think getting, a guy like Malcolm Subban, you told me, I don't know, 4 years ago, the Hawks were getting him. Sweet.
Right.
He was like one of the top goalie prospects in the league. That would have been sweet.
Now it's nothing.
You get a second-round pick for him and Leonard, or for a second-round pick and Subban for Leonard. It's like great.
Cool.
Gustafson, third rounder. They would have gotten a first if they would have traded him in the off. Bowman doesn't have any foresight, doesn't have the fortitude. Frankly, if they would have just even, it's like it blew up in their face this time, because if they would have traded both these guys a week ago, where before the other defensemen and goalies were being dealt, like getting good returns, like if Gustafson, would have netted you better than a third rounder, he would have netted you at least a second a week, And in the summer, he nets you a first rounder. So it just tells you where, when you got a guy running your organization that just can't pick up on stuff like that, but, dipshit blogger A or fucking even us, just shoot the shit about this stuff. We can pick up certain things like this. I mean, everybody should have seen that they can't give Brent Seabrook the contract they gave Brent Seabrook a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's things like that you just cannot make those moves.
Not in
You've
hockey.
got to be better than that, dude. they had a run where they won 3 Stanley Cups, and it was one, it's a great stretch for obviously for the city. It's the greatest run of the organization definitely ever seen. But it just seems like it could have been better, and that's what sucks about it, is it could have been better than it's been. And frankly, it sounds like Leonard wanted to stay here for another 3 years. Mark Lazarus said a possibly quote low cap hit.
He was going to take a pay cut. He wanted to take a pay cut to stay on this team, and guess what we did? We traded him to a team that is really going to love him, and we got nothing.
If you're gonna get dog shit back, you might as well keep him and extend it.
It's unbelievable.
Finally get a contract that's like a value on your
It's stupid. Honestly,
payroll.
It's stupid. It's like you could have made so many moves today, like for Leonard and for Gustafson, but guess what we did? We got nothing.
And I'm not gonna let Bowman sleep on this one either. They're obviously having to deal Gustafson in defenseman. They got rid of Yoki Haru before the season and got fucking Nylander back, who's just absolutely been terrible. It's moves like that just keep dooming this organization just repeatedly over and over and over. And it's like, just come on, guys. Can we win a deal? They don't win deals anymore.
Hey, like I said, good thing we had
Frederic
on to lead the show, because we've just talked about 2 sad subjects after. Because let's get into Boylan's timeout woes. He likes to call timeouts with 15 seconds left.
He thinks he's coaching a YMCA basketball team.
His best player on his team, Zach Levine, is just in the moment asking what in the fuck is going on, because we don't know what the fuck's going on. He doesn't know what's going on. They asked Levine afterwards about it, and he goes, "You're going to have to go ask him," and pretty much laughed it off. They said that they had like a meeting after the game, Boylan and Levine. I don't know what this guy's doing. This may be the worst Chicago coach I've ever seen. And we've gone through the Trestmans. We've gone John Fox. I wasn't a fan of John Fox. We've been through a lot of bad coaches, but this may be the worst, boys. This may be the worst.
Tim Floyd couldn't coach flies to get to cow poop. So
can he? What has Jim Boylan proven that he can?
That bad.
What?
This is nearing like Tim Floyd level.
I'm saying,
back.
What has he done to prove that he can do that? Because he just like you said, sometimes you're like, okay, you're gonna make a mistake, you're gonna call a timeout at a weird time, but it seems like he doesn't understand what he's doing. Like, he doesn't understand. He thinks what he's doing right. Like, he doesn't understand what he's doing is like bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like he's like 10-second Tom. He wakes up to a new world every 10. So like he just off this seam of his pants. He's just like, oh well, we're down 10 with 30 seconds. I got timeouts. I'll just burn them. Like, dude, this is not like an equal playtime YMCA league. Like, this is the NBA. What are you doing?
Just ridiculous. It's just, and you watch it just makes you like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you just expect the worst to happen.
It's a teaching moment, Zach. Yeah. Come on. You can make these guys better.
That's the problem that I have with the whole thing.
We're not teaching basketball. We're growing men still, Zach. This is the NBA.
That is Mark
a guy like Kobe White. A guy like Kobe White goes out and he has 66 points in 2 games, and it's great.
Nah, let's keep starting Saturansky.
But yeah. Not even that. It's just why would you want a player that you've invested a high pick in, you've invested some money in, why would you want a guy like Jim Boylan coaching him right now? Like, this is like the start of his career. This is when you want a good coach forming your young players, and we have a guy that can't even call a timeout at the right time. Like, this is ridiculous. You're just setting yourself up for failure.
We have an organization that extends contracts to Cristiano Felicio.
We now have 2 organizations that have hashtags that have been trending on Twitter to fire the front office. It's the second time that the front office in Chicago, in a professional sport, has been trending. Their front office names have been trending on Twitter because we want them fired.
It's not even like it's been over the season. It's been in the last 8 days.
Today it was Stan Bowman, and then it was Gar and Pax during the All-Star break. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's embarrassing
It's
is
really
what it is.
embarrassing,
For
too, because
a team that is in the third largest market in the country to be doing what they're doing is
and it's more
embarrassing.
embarrassing, really,
When-
for the
when-
Blackhawks, too, because you have two of the greatest in the game on your team, and you're still stuck in this spot where you can't do anything right. Like, you would think that those guys on your team would make you want to look at every trade, every move you make, and you want to make your best move. But at this point, it doesn't seem like they care.
I was thinking to myself, like, when we were talking about, like, before we got on the show and talking about what we were going to discuss tonight, I was thinking to myself, like, early 2010, 11, 12, like, we had the Hawks winning cups.
Yeah.
The Bulls were exciting.
They were at least
with
fun.
one-
They were at least
With
fun.
Rose and Noah and Dang. We thought maybe, hey, this team might have a
And
chance
now-
to, like, maybe knock off LeBron, maybe go win an NBA title. It's a good, young, up-and-coming team. Great coach. We got Joel Quenneville, future Hall of Fame coach for the Hawks, a young core. We're winning cups. And now it's just like screeching halt and just dog shit on both sides.
And then
it's terrible. It's terrible.
And now we have the 20-38 Bulls hosting the Thunder in a game where they're 6.5-point underdogs at home, and we have the Blackhawks 27-27-8, as Boomy said, 20. They are 27-35 actually, 62 points. They are 20. They have 20 less points than the St. Louis Blues do right now.
It's
It's
disgusting.
disgusting. Like you said, it used to be so fun. We used to be so excited about hockey and basketball.
We used to
And now it's
be
nothing.
able to be happy about our teams, and now it's like we just got to go and like cower.
And I'm not even getting on this, but the marquee and the spring training games.
I
It's kind of
don't even get the Marquee Network, and I'm pissed. So,
It's wait, you have DirecTV.
yep, doesn't it's not part of our package or something. We're leaving DirecTV anyway. I went to turn it on the other day, and it's not a channel that we're subscribed to or something.
It's gonna
so,
get ridiculous.
like,
We'll see how this goes. I know after a while it'll become nice and everything. Down the road you'll be happy with it. But after right now, I just want to watch a spring training game. I'm sorry. I just want to watch a spring training game.
I just want to see more Grace.
Boomy, do you have a wacky web story for us?
You're darn right. And this comes to us from an idiot who works at a school in Oklahoma. And this particular idiot, they unfortunately gave a microphone to because said idiot was fired at halftime of a girls' basketball game because he described the opposing team players' names as, quote, disgusting. The announcer at Newkirk High School, he's yet to be identified, but there's a video going around and you can be heard saying, now their names are pretty disgusting, but I'm going to try to call them out because he was having a hard time pronouncing them, kind of like I had trouble with a hard time pronouncing the word pronouncing. But yeah, he said their names are pretty disgusting, about like 16 and 17-year-old girls' names. Like, what are you doing, man? He was basically fired at halftime of the game for just being.
Yeah, I don't think you can go on the microphone and say that and think you're going to have the same job at the end of that game.
I should have to wear a sign around for the next 20 years. Just whatever you do, don't hand me a microphone because I'm stupid.
Why? Because I'm an idiot.
And I'm like, did he think it like that's not? We're in such a culture where like some things are funny to some people and not fun. Like
Like
I
that,
don't know
where in your mind were you like, that's going to work?
Yeah,
that's never gonna strike a chord. Like like that's just.
Well, you think
Just-
everyone's going to
just
go,
bury that.
oh my gosh, this guy, he just called everyone's
Oh,
names disgusting.
this guy at the comedy club, he's hilarious.
No,
Like, what are you doing, man?
that could have been the quickest and easiest firing of all time. It's just like, okay, dude.
Sounds
you're
like
done.
it was.
Yeah.
They came him at halftime. They didn't even let him finish the game.
Lucky
so.
they didn't take him out like they didn't just fire him right after the game. Like, just see you later, bud.
They
You're not
just
gonna
walk
be
over, take
you're
the
not gonna be
microphone
doing
and
this
hit him.
anymore.
Yeah, come on.
Dumb. That's what that guy is. A dumb.
That is correct.
Anything post show, boys, from the weekend?
No, I said it earlier.
No,
Go buy a shirt. Go follow Don Frederic and go buy a shirt. Donate to a good cause.
Morale.
I think it was
Morale.store is where you can get all the products. Like you said, Matt's got the T-shirt and the long sleeve. Boomy's got the you get the T-shirt, Boomy, and maybe the long sleeve. Or no, you're
Yep,
gonna get the sweatshirt, shirt.
Yeah, the sweatshirt shirt. Yeah. You guys think we're gonna get this major snowstorm we're supposed to
I
get?
don't know. I don't know. If we do, it's gonna kind of suck. I've heard, but we'll see what happens.
It was 60 degrees on Sunday, and now we're supposed to get like 8 inches of
Maybe
snow. What the hell?
I'll be bunked up here down in the.
I might have to have you go get the plow and get us out of here.
Stay in the
Zach.
basement for a few days if we get snowed in and just watch, gamble on some sports and stay warm.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and watch Netflix and not the Marquee Network because DirecTV sucks.
Speaking of gambling, I had the Miami Heat full game -6. They lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's
How is
tough.
that? But I had them first half.
They
So
got a vendetta. They want to prove that John Beeline was the
they were
problem.
down like 20 at one point and came back to the Heat because I had the Heat
Beeline,
first
what
half.
a-
I hit the first half Heat, which actually won. So they had
What
a
a
lead until like the
9
fourth
months
quarter.
for
They went to
John
overtime.
Beeline.
What?
Oh, that game did go overtime? I said,
Yeah.
what a wild 9 months it's been for John Beeline.
Yeah, he was set up to fail there.
Yeah, that was never.
That really was. The players stink there too. I don't think that. I understand we can say whatever you want, but I know they won tonight, but they still not good.
They're not good at basketball.
No, they're. And coming from a Bulls fan, I can
Yeah,
tell you when a
saying
team
a
is
lot.
bad. Okay. I can tell you when a team is bad. Well, thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. Beautiful mug right here with TCF logo. Muddy Otter on the bottom. TheMuddyOtter.com, and follow them on Facebook and Instagram, Hannah and Mitch Prentice. And also thank you to Score Trader. Go in the Apple Store. Download the Score Trader app. Make an account for free. We got, what'd you say, Boomy? Saturday is...
Carolina.
What'd you say?
South Carolina.
South
the
Carolina.
Worst of Carolina.
South Carolina. So get the app downloaded and get an account before then so you can get in on the action there. Again, as Score Trader, go to the Apple Store, download the Score Trader app, and make yourself a free account on there, and then follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you to Score Trader and the Muddy Otter. Thank you to Matt Schofield at schools_01. Boomy at Boomy TCF for joining me tonight. I am Zach Lilia at ZLilia, LILJA TCF. Main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go to the YouTube page. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe to the Typical Chicago Fans page on there. And then go to wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. If you're on Apple, subscribe, rate, review. Give us a 5-star rating, please. And then if you're on Spotify, follow and give us a review on there. Thank you to Dom Frederic for coming on here tonight. Go to morale.store and get your products on there. 100% of the proceeds go to the first responders. The Schwarbers Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Kyle Schwarber and Dom Frederic have collabed on this. Like I said, 100% of the proceeds go to the first responders, morale.store, and then follow Frederic at Dom_Frederic on Twitter. Thank you, boys, for joining me tonight. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Tuesday, February 25th. We love you all.
Peace.